Greetings, true believers. Aloha, it's your old pal Spider-Man. Cadre, how you doing today? We're going to be doing the first in one of my instructional videos, and today we're going to be talking about how to travel with your gear. As you can see, I'm not at home. I'm on a work vacation. So I'm in Hawaii right now. As you can see, Diamond Head way off in the distance. It's much bigger than it appears, actually. And so I had to bring my wet shaving gear with me, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I packed and how maybe you should pack for future trips. Now I came out here for about a month, so I actually brought out a whole lot of stuff with me just so I could maintain some variety. But if you're just going on like a small weekend trip or even a week-long work trip, you really don't need to bring a whole lot with you, and you can get by with very little, actually. So the first thing you want to think about is what type of trip are you doing? Are you going by car? Are you going by plane? And how much space are you going to have? You know, maybe you're a little bit space limited in your car, or maybe you're going to visit family and you're going to be staying in the guest room and they got a small bathroom, you don't have much counter space. So you want to limit the stuff that you take with you. If you're going to go by airplane, you know, your hotel might be a little bit small where you're going. Again, counter space could be an issue. Or if you're just going on a real quick trip and you don't want to check a bag, then you're going to have some other restrictions on you if you're just taking a carry-on. So we're going to talk about those things today. But the first thing you want to do is get a DOP kit. Some sort of bag that's going to hold all of your shaving gear and anything else you might need for your bathroom. So this is just a very simple zipper opening, just one huge pouch inside, and it'll hold everything you need. So, you know, if you're a guy with a mohawk like me, you're gonna need some hairspray. You know, you got your comb, you got your deodorant, you know, toothbrush, anything you're gonna need, you can fit in here. I've also got this other bag, and this one is a little bit nice. It's got a zipper here. We'll open this up. It's actually got a hook, so you can hang it on a towel rack or on the hook on the back of your door, and then it's got a couple of zippered pouches so you can kind of organize it a little bit better, and then it's got a big pouch down on the bottom. So both of those will work great. There's lots of other options. You can pick these things up for pretty cheap, $5–10. You can get a real cheap DOP kit, or if you want to get a real nice high quality leather one, you can spend $100 or more on a bag. It's just whatever you want to spend. This Nivea one that I got was bought around the holidays in one of their gift packs. It came loaded with a bunch of Nivea products, and this came free with it. So you can be on the lookout for stuff like that too. So one thing to be cautious of when you're traveling is your razor. So you want to make sure you pack your razor well. This is a RazoRock leather case, so I've got my DE in there. So this is going to help keep it from you know, banging up to a limited extent. If you don't have a case like that, you can just get a washcloth and wrap up your razor like that. You can get one thing that I really like to do, and I don't have that with me right now, is a plastic soap container. Something that you would put a bar of soap in, but you take that, you cut out some foam, and you put it in both the top and the bottom, and then you cut out a little insert just big enough to fit your razor in. So you put your razor in there, you close it up, and that thing is nearly bulletproof. You can drop it and it's gonna shake it up and do whatever you want to it, and it's not gonna hurt your razor. Another thing that I have done for my travel kit is this is an old gumball tin, very similar to an Altoids tin. That's a lot of people use Altoids tins. And inside there, I've got a little bit of foam packing on the top and the bottom. I got one of those little silica gel packets. These things absorb water, so it's nice to throw one of those in there. You could get a few of these and throw them in the bottom of your DOP kit too, and that'll help take care of moisture. But as you can see in here, I've got my razor, the handle, and a pack of blades. And I'm trying real hard not to drop this. So this is perfect for travel because it disassembles, and then when you're ready to shave, you just take your handle, screw it in, and pull it out. This is a vintage Gillette Tech, which is great for traveling. If you have another 3-piece, some of the more modern 3-pieces have longer handles, so they may not fit in this type of tin. So you just have to check and see if what you have is going to fit. Again, you can pack your blades in there and take enough for however long you're going to be traveling. Now, what I recommend doing is, if you're a frequent traveler, is to get a designated travel razor. Get an old Super Speed, get an old Gillette Tech, get something that's cheap that you don't mind if you accidentally lose it, accidentally drop it, it gets stolen, whatever, something happens to it. You're not going to be heartbroken if something happens to that razor. I keep this in my dock kit. As you saw, I brought a couple other razors with me. That's just because I'm going on a longer trip and I wanted some variety. But this is my go-to razor. Anytime I'm just going for the weekend or going for a week-long trip, this is really the only razor that I bring with me. Packs up real tight, and you're good to go. If, for some strange reason you're backpacking and you're not gonna have a bathroom, I pack a little travel mirror with me, so if I need to shave, I've got a mirror. If you are a bowl latherer, then I recommend getting a plastic salsa bowl. These things are pretty much indestructible. They're grooved on the inside, so they're really good at making a lather. Or you can just bypass the bowl altogether and face lather. I'm primarily a face lather, but I brought this along just so I can show you guys an option. It's real lightweight, it packs away, it's small. So these are a really good option if you are a designated, or if you only bowl lather, and this is what you might want to bring with you. Now, as far as lather goes, you've got some options that are going to be more space friendly than others. Now, if space isn't an option and you just want to bring a full tub of soap, by all means, bring a full tub of soap. But you can get a smaller container and just put a little bit of soap in here. This is a puck of Williams, so that's real small, real good for travel. Another good thing is shave sticks. So this is a La Toja shave stick. These are real handy for traveling. All you gotta do is wet your face, wet the stick, rub this on your face. You could do that with a Williams puck too. Just rub it on your face and then go to town with your brush. And you're gonna build your lather directly on your face. So that's real easy. Another good thing for traveling is samples. Just get a little sample bottle and put a whatever soap you want to in there. You can get a good 3 or 4 shaves out of what is in just a little sample bottle. So if you're going for a week long, just grab a couple of these and you'll be good to go. Now, as far as brushes is concerned, again, if you're not really space limited and you don't really care, then just bring a full-size brush. I really recommend a synthetic for travel purposes. The reason is because they dry out so much faster than a Badger or a Boar brush. And if you're, especially on your last day, if you're gonna shave right before you get back on the plane, you're gonna shave, you're pretty much packing your stuff up right then and there. Now you can wring this out, you can strap it on a towel, and that's gonna help you dry it off. But chances are this thing is still going back in your bag a little bit wet. So with a synthetic brush, you don't really have to worry about it too much. It's gonna dry pretty much on its own as it is. Now you can also, if space is a limitation, get a smaller travel brush. This one came from Maggard's. You can also go get like a Simpson's Wee Scott. That's gonna be another smaller brush for you. This one here was given to me in a pith that somebody carved the handle and put a very small knot in it. So these are my go-to travel brushes. I've got the synthetic And then just for some diversity, I've got a Badger brush. Now, as you can see, I've got little containers that these go in. This is a simple pill bottle that this fits perfectly in. Now, I did drill some holes in the top and in the bottom and the sides. So if I do put this thing away a little bit wet, it still has some holes so it can breathe. One thing that I'll also do, especially if I've just used it and I'm putting it away wet, I'll just leave the top off. That's just gonna help the moisture get out of there that much faster. Now, we'll go back to the razors real quick. So if you are traveling by air, again, anything you want to put in your check bag is fine. It doesn't matter. You can travel with your straight razors. You can travel with any kind of razor you want. There's no limitations for your check bag. But if you're doing a carry-on only, you can take cartridge razors. You can take like a Gillette Mach 3 or Fusion or whatever if you want to go that route. You can take a disposable razor. So you can take like a Bic Sensitive or a Bic Metal, something like that. It's disposable. Anything that you can't take the blade out of is just fine. But your DEs, you want to be cautious with, because you can take a DE razor with you, but you can't take the DE blades with you. Same for single edge, same for injectors. Any type of removable blade is not allowed on the airplane. So one thing that you can do to get around that is if you know ahead of time where you're going, you can forward a couple of blades, put them in an envelope, send them to your hotel, so that way when you get there, the blades are already there. So that's one way. Also, pretty much anywhere you go, you're gonna be able to find a CVS, a Walgreens or something. You can go just buy a pack of blades as soon as you get there, and that's an option for you. I would also recommend getting a vintage Gillette Track 2 or an Atra. Now, those are the old two-bladed carts before the Gillette Sensor and before the Gillette Mach 3. Those are my go-to cartridge razors. I find they work pretty well. Still not a real big cartridge guy, but in a pinch, if I know I can't take my DE with me, I'm gonna grab probably the Track 2, which is the non-pivoting head. The Atra has the pivoting head, the Track 2 is the non-pivoting. So I find that with the non-pivoting head, it's actually very similar in approach to using your DE razor. Now, one thing, if you're going through TSA and you got stuff in your checked bag, I'm gonna caution you, just give yourself extra time. You never know, like TSA is finicky. Like sometimes they'll have a problem with something and sometimes they won't. You never know what they're gonna flag. You never know what they're gonna give you a hassle about. So just give yourself extra time going through security. You know, they might question. I've heard people online say that TSA agents told them that they could not take their razor with them, even though there was no blade in it. And that's absolutely false. But they might decide to give you a hard time because maybe they don't understand the rules as well as you do. You're watching this video, you know the rules, they did not. So maybe they're just a little bit iffy and they think that you can't bring that razor because, you know, one time they were told that they couldn't because it had a blade in it and they just, you know, carte blanche, oh, it's all safety razors. Well, that's not the case. And maybe they don't understand that. So just give yourself extra time. Also with soaps, I had this happen to me once. I went through security. I had a full tub of soap. It was like 5 ounces of soap. And my bag went through the x-ray and they said, yeah, we need to check your bag. I said, okay, that's fine. And they looked at it and they pulled out the tub of soap and they said, this is more than 3 ounces. I'm like, yeah, but it's not a gel, liquid, or aerosol, so it's fine. And they're like, well, no, it still falls under the 3 ounce category. I'm like, it's soap. It's hard. Like it wasn't even like a Crope. It wasn't even like a soft cream or anything like that. But for some reason, they thought that it was still applicable under the gels and liquids. And I finally talked them into letting me bring it with me. But that's just an example of one thing that they might give you a hassle for, and it's unwarranted, but it can happen. So that can be something else that delays you. Now let's talk about the actual liquids, because that really is something that they are very strict on. Any liquids you take on an airplane, have to fit inside a quart bag. Everything that you can't take 2 quart bags. Everything you're taking with you has to fit in 1 quart bag. Also, 3.4 ounces. They always say like 3 ounces, but the rule is actually 3.4. This is a 3-ounce bottle that I have refilled. This was a hand sanitizer bottle, and I've refilled this with witch hazel. So this is 3 ounces of witch hazel. This is perfectly legit to go through TSA security. Now, 3.4 ounces is 100 milliliters. And depending on the brand of aftershave, that's pretty much a full bottle of aftershave. I think that's a full bottle of Aqua Velva. So you can bring full bottles with you. I don't recommend it just because you're not gonna need a full bottle even if you're gone a week. So I recommend getting some smaller bottles. This again is a 3-ounce bottle. This here is a 1.5 ounce bottle. Again, hand sanitizer bottle. I love hand sanitizer bottles. The plastic on them is really thick. It's got a flip top cap and a very small opening, so it's very easy to dispense the liquid out of these. Another thing to look for is what type of soap, like body wash, shampoo, conditioner bottles does your hotel have? These bottles came from a hotel. This is 0.8 ounces. This is way more than enough to last me a week of aftershave. So 1 or 2 of these and I'm set for a week. And takes up very little space and it is just, in my opinion, a perfect travel bottle for aftershaves, for hair tonic, shaving cream, basically anything you would want that is in liquid form. This is about the right size. Now my current hotel has these squeeze tubes. Not as attractive, you can't see through it to see what's in it, but you could also rinse these out and fill this up with aftershave and be just fine. So look at bottles to reuse. Anything that's small is going to work just fine. I can also get a little small bottle of cologne with me and be just fine. So I think I covered just about everything. I would also say bring a styptic pencil. Your routine is going to be different. You're not gonna have everything that you would normally have with you in your hotel. The water's gonna be different. You're gonna be time limited. Maybe your schedule's off. You're probably not gonna get as good a shaves as you get when you're back home. So I would highly, highly recommend bringing a styptic pencil, just in case. Even if you're the type of person that never cut yourself, it could happen. Just get one, toss it in the bottom of your kit. You may never use it, but it may come in handy. I realized when I got here that I didn't bring one, so I had to go buy one, and it's come in very much handy. So again, I think I've covered everything. I did want to mention one more thing. I don't think I hit on this. Creams. I'm not a cream user generally, but if you can get a little tube of cream, that is excellent for traveling. You can face lather with a cream. You don't need a bowl. All you gotta do is wet your brush, squirt a little bit of cream on the end of your brush, and just lather directly like that. So if you're space limited, again, the stick or a tube of cream or sample bottles are really where it's at. So I hope you guys found this useful, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. I've traveled for years. I've been taking my DE stuff with me. I've come across just about everything with TSA. So any questions you guys have, I can pretty much answer them, or I can look it up. But I hope this is useful if you guys are traveling. Again, just have fun out there, enjoy your shaves. And I'm Spider for the Shaving Cadre. And mahalo for watching, and that means thank you in Hawaii. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the forums. Later.